welcome along to episode 5 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Johnny Dineen, counting down to the 2023 Cheltenham Festival. Now, Honeysuckle was beaten for the first time over the weekend. Shishkin ran a shocker. There was 3 brilliant Grade 1s at Ferryhouse on Sunday, but there's only one place to start. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is with Johnny Dineen's jumper. Johnny, the jumper last week. Now, if your theory is right on racing, you know, one bad run and they're gone. That should mean that the jumper is gone.
Oh, the jumper is most certainly consigned to history. After the review it got brutal stuff, wasn't it? I was reading stuff. I didn't realise it was such a bad jumper.
No, did I? And I was beside you. I would have said it to you, Johnny.
Well, I've received a couple of sessions, counselling sessions, and the lady told me that it'll get better by the day. So she said maybe a couple more sessions and I'll be up and running again.
A pal of mine rang me, Gavin Buggy from Wexford, and he said he was watching it on his phone, you know, watching the show on his phone. And he said he tried to scratch, he thought there was dirt on his phone, so he tried to scratch the dirt off. He didn't realise it was the planets on your jumper.
All right, yeah.
So for anybody who hasn't seen last week's show, have a look and you'll see Johnny Dineen's jumper.
I'm playing it safe now this week.
You are, very nice, yeah. Brand new Gant jumper. Brand new.
I had to buy a new one.
So the fact that you were able to buy a brand new jumper, does that mean you had a good weekend, Johnny?
Oh, I know, I lost again. No, my luck is bad with a while actually, but no, I lost again. Real bad day Saturday, and lost Sunday, but nowhere near as much.
Okay, what was your worst result over the weekend?
Well, I started off terrible Saturday. 2 things happened to me straight away. I was on I Am Maximus, and I backed it at a bad price too as well. On top of that, you know, getting like 10-9 on a yoke that was like 3-1 the night before even. Yeah. I know there's rule 4, but you're still on 9-4. But I did back it at 10-9 on, and I think the race was 11:35, wasn't it?
It was 11:35, yeah.
And I fancied laying the favourite in 11:40 in Wetherby, and the photo kind of ran into, do you know what I mean? It was still, and the 11:40 was off. That got beat, of course, and I laid that Dixon Cove it was raced there it looked beat all ends up, and Skelton galvanised it and got it over the line anyway. But it was like, you know, I knew it was no good, but it still won. You still have to pay out, you know. But even though
and your best result, right? Let's get a bit of positivity going. What was your best result?
The best result for me on Saturday was Jamie Moore not coming out over the favourites heading the first and Sandown at the last.
Speed.
Yeah, like if that had been beaten, it would have been horrific condition altogether. But it didn't anyway. Thanks be to God. But for that brief moment, you're saying, "Oh my God, here's Goshen all over again." It was like he was all about over his head, but he managed to stay on it. Thanks be to God.
And you survived to tell the tale.
Exactly,
Johnny.
Yeah, that's all. That's what the game is all about.
That's
anyway.
what the game is all about, and you're here for Upping The Ante, and that's all we care about.
Exactly,
Johnny.
yeah.
So for that reason, let's get on with the show. Yes, as ever here on Upping The Ante, we kick off with our questions from the crowd, and the first question this week comes in from Paul Duffy, and Paul wants to know: should he back Honeysuckle at 8-1 for the champion hurdle, or 4-1 for the mayor's hurdle, or back her for nothing? Is she finished, Johnny Dineen?
Look, first of all, I wouldn't back her for any race for Cheltenham now. And I mean, I don't see why she should run in the mayor's hurdle. Anything that won the champion hurdle twice, like it's a backward step going back to the mayor's. She's already won a mayor's hurdle. For me, I couldn't see that happening really. Is she valued 8-1 for the champion hurdle? You'd have to think not. Like I wouldn't have fancied her for the champion hurdle, regardless of what she did last Sunday anyway. But I certainly wouldn't rule her out just yet. Like for the bulk of that race, you'd like to have been on her. Like it looked like everything she was doing. She was jumping brilliant. She was in the pole position. She skipped into the lead. We jumped into the lead in the second lap. You say this is over, and the next thing for some reason she got tired, and she fizzled out a bit. But she didn't run horrendous or anything like that. No, and I'd withhold judgment on her until the next day. Now I would say one thing: if she doesn't win the next day, you're in real bother. Like, you know what I mean? If she doesn't win it at Christmas against like whatever, maybe Statemen or something, if that takes her out, then she can't.
If she runs, her next run will be in the Irish Champion Hurdle. She won't run at Christmas.
Will she not? Okay, okay, I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, fair enough. But if she goes for that race and she's beaten fair and square, well then, as a realistic Grade 1 winner, her days are probably behind her. But I would say one thing about her running on Sunday. No, I didn't back her. I had the notion of backing her anyway, to be honest. But I didn't do anything in the race, to be honest. But there was one firm taking her on, right? And they don't do anything without a reason, if you know what I'm saying. Then they don't stick their head above the parapet unless they know something. And they knew something here, and they were right. They were right. And if I go to have a bet, and if they're taking one on, you have to have a good think and say, like, do I really want to take these people on? Because they will be like, it's under twos on the machines, okay, on the exchanges, and this crowd are sticking their head out 2 on all morning, taking on everyone, leaving the price there. Normally they could be going 4 to 11, that kind of a horse.
But could it just be a trader taking an opinion?
Not a hope. The trader, not a hope. Not inertly. They knew something here. They knew either that it wasn't fit, which is very likely, either that she was working bad, or that they were expecting big runs from
Classical Dream
or something like that. They knew something about it anyway, I guarantee you. They wouldn't be relying on traders to take positions like this, not inertly.
Okay. So, to answer Paul's question, don't back her for the champion hurdle. Don't back her for the mare's hurdle. Don't back her for anything, but don't give up.
Oh, exactly. I'm far from finished now. She's far from finished.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought, like...
Oh, I thought there was a big
No,
black
actually,
marker
said he beat,
going straight
like, when I'm talking about forgetting about horse, I'm talking about putting in stinkers. That was far from a stinker. Like, for most of the way around, you'd like to have been on her.
Yeah, but should we not be judging her on, like, we're judging her on being one of the greatest racehorses of all time.
But she's probably slightly, like, okay, she's won 16 or 17 races in a row. She's possibly, like, she's not in that company. Like, there's
But
been...
is she not? To do that, does that not automatically put her in one of the best horses of all time category? That's why we judge her so harshly. That's why we were so deflated afterwards, because you're talking about one of the greatest racehorses we've ever seen, and she finished 3rd.
But to be described as one of the greatest racehorses we've ever seen, you've got to have form tied in with some really, really good horses. And unfortunately, she doesn't have that. Not in my eyes.
She has the longevity, though.
Oh, absolutely. And look, she's a smashing racehorse. Of course she is. And she's won big races. But like, she has form tied in with charges and epitantes and that kind of stuff. That's not really like on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, they're not wonderful horses. Them yokes, are they? Like, really.
Okay.
Look, she's a great horse, obviously a great animal. But like, she might have found an era where it wasn't that difficult maybe to win those races. Like, Bouvardar won 2 champion hurdles. You'd hardly describe him as being a wonder horse, would you really, to be fair?
No.
Do you know?
Okay. So that's where we stand on Honeysuckle.
I certainly wouldn't rule her out. Her next run will be interesting now. Her next run will be interesting. I would see, like, I'd see her probably being hard to beat in that race.
Okay, interesting. So there you go, Paul. That's your answer about Honeysuckle. Our second question this week comes in from Gareth Cummins. And Gareth wants to know, Johnny, your theory of one bad run and forgetting about horses, he says, could be true after watching Shishkin in the Tinkle Creek on Saturday. How will Shishkin do stepping up in trip, or did Energamine just bottom him out last year in the Clarence House?
Or Shishkin, if ever there's a busted flush, it's Shishkin now, isn't it? Like,
Gone.
Absolutely. Gone. That's rubbish about stepping him up in trip. Sure, he's at no trip, like, was he going well the other day. He's niggling him down the shoulder after jumping the first. Do you know, and fellas are saying Henderson is coming up with, first of all, it's the bone thing, like, that's the new one, wasn't it?
You didn't like that from the start.
I didn't like it.
You were a bit dubious in
yeah,
his Johnny
absolutely. Now. And the second thing is, now he's saying it's like 2.5 mile, maybe a 3 mile horse, that kind of thing.
And this is apparently last year was the fastest horse they have in 7 barrels.
Absolutely. And like, it's only last Christmas he destroyed Green Teen over 2 mile around Sharp Kempton track. Yeah. And on top of that, like, the Tingle Creek, you've seen horses like Cato Star who could win the Tingle Creek, come back from, could win over 3. Desert Orchid won, I'd say, maybe the Whitbread before it came back and won the Tingle Creek with about 15 stone maybe. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So I wouldn't buy into that at all. To me, he's gone. He jumped out to his left. Even the leap he threw at the cross fence, like, he was unconscious, wasn't he? Like, and finished nowhere in like, he was destroyed. You could never back that horse again. Not in any race, over any distance. I'd never again back him anyway.
So there you go, guys. Shishkin is gone. He's gone, Johnny.
Oh, definitely gone. Oh, absolutely.
Forget about him.
Yeah.
Shishkin is no longer. Third question is from Phil Skelton, and it's a very simple one, Johnny. Is Noble Yates a genuine Gold Cup contender now? Could a Grand National winner win a Gold Cup the year after winning the Grand National?
Well, first of all, I would think he's a Gold Cup horse, yeah, right. Definitely, yeah. Like, I just looked at his prices. He's similar price to Protector, nearly identical price on the machines.
You're going to have another go with Protector?
No, I think he's a way better chance than Protector anyway. Do you know what I mean? I like, if I had to pick one over the other, as regards winning the race, no, maybe Protector at, like, could be second, third, or fourth, or whatever he could place in the race. I don't see him as a winner. Where Noble Yates has a style now. He's a winning style, and he's a good horse, Noble Yates. And
he's
I know,
a finisher, isn't he?
Yeah, and I know he's coming back from winning the Grand National trying to do that. But Hedge Hunter almost did that one year, or, well, 2 years actually. And this is a fair horse though. He's a good bit better than Hedge Hunter, I'd imagine. Look, he was a 7-year-old novice winning the Grand National, so he's already defied the statsmen anyway, without a doubt. He's a good horse. His finishes well is right. And what I like about him, there's a few things I like about him. First, the trainer is fantastic operator.
Genius.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like that's a big help. The jockey, now, like Whaley Cohn is an amateur. Like he's a good amateur, but in my eyes anyway, Sean Bone is a fantastic rider.
He's deadly.
Yeah, he's a brilliant. Like if I had to have my,
I'd have him nearly number 2 in England.
I'd have him nearly number 1.
No, he's not better than Cobden.
I think he nearly is.
You think he's better than Harry
I do.
Cobden?
I think he's stronger,
he's not, Johnny.
and he's built like a. He's
a tank.
Yeah, he's a little jockey.
He's excellent, but he's no Harry Cobden.
He is. He is.
Johnny,
I'd go in far. If I had to pick a jockey to have my absolute Cobden one, right?
Yeah, Cobden. Yeah.
No, I'd go with this guy. I'd
Would
go
you,
with
Johnny?
Bone. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I would. No, Cobden's a great rider, very good rider, and the third fellow I'd rate is John O'Neill Jr. I'm actually surprised he doesn't get more rides.
Yeah, great lad. Yeah.
Brilliant rider. Like he's one of those fellas as well. Like, and Bone is the same. Do you know when they come looking like winning in a race,
they win.
They win it. Whereas if these other ponces coming and they're sitting and they're all doing this all stuff, and next thing they're this little love taps going up the line, they get beat about half a length. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. These fellas, when you see these fellas coming like Bone and like John O'Neill, when they're coming to win, they'll win every single time.
Okay.
But I think, and like another thing as well, what I like about Noble Yates is like they didn't do this nonsense of going back for the Grand National and running them over hurdles to protect the mark. They're running him now as if he's a proper Grade 1 horse.
They're finding out, yeah.
No, but like they ran him even in Wexford down there. Like he was given, like he was rated some. It wouldn't have done his mark probably any harm or whatever, but it would do his mark harm to win in that many clouds race. And like he's been trained now as a Gold Cup horse, not a Grand National horse.
Yes,
that's a big difference too. I think he's a realistic.
Would you back him now to win the Gold Cup?
No, maybe not back him. But
would you lay him?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would consider him as a possibility in a race where only 3 or 4 are live chances. Like he's definitely one of them.
Absolutely. Okay, so there you go. Noble Yates, Phil. He is a genuine Cheltenham Gold Cup contender. And our final question this week comes in from Dan Stewart. And Dan wants to know, is there any race you would like to see replaced at the Cheltenham Festival with another race, or removed altogether, Johnny?
Replaced.
We'll replace him first now.
Okay,
you look like I'm after asking you to donate a kidney there. Just simply, would you like a race replaced at Cheltenham? It's not.
Well, there hasn't
been
many.
Solving a theorem.
Yeah, there hasn't been many removed. So I go for the novices handicap chase. I thought that was a loss to the programme now myself. I like that race, and it was always a race that it wasn't that hard to find. Not saying it was that easy to find. But like, yeah, it was a kind of a punter-friendly race. Like it was an open betting race, but there was never a kind of a wangaroo won it. If you know what I mean, there was never a. That's what we call an outsider. Wangaroo. yeah. But like there was never a 50 to 1. No. Like it wasn't like the Fred Winter where anything could win the Fred Winter. Do you know what I mean?
Because even looking back to Aplutar, you had Imperial Aura. Ballyalton won it.
He did.
Horses won it.
Yeah, exactly. And like Galvin was second in it one year. Yeah, not that long ago. I remember losing my absolute brains in it one year. Your man won it. Huntball. Yeah, Huntball. He came from like he was winning. He won off a 68. Yeah. And he finished up running this thing off 142. And I think the fella called Burke trained it. That fella not the fella that Looney. Yeah, he owned it. And like it was gone up £74. It was gone up. Like top weight in a handicap chase. That'll be my handwriting now for laying them anyway. Like they couldn't win.
You were stoned.
Oh, I lost my brains in it. Yeah, like absolute stinker of a race. I'd say I never lost more than any race there actually at the meeting. Yeah, and it was the same day. Covega, I was winning a good few quid. Covega won the second last. Fell for that all. Remember that rubbish every year that's working bad? You know what I mean? We got caught in that a few times. After about 3 years, I said, let's have enough of that. But I got caught that year. And then drove into Huntball. It was the last race the same day. Oh, it won alone, it did. Absolutely. Like, it was running... Its next run in entry was off, I think, like 154 in the novices chases them. Like it went up £86. Jeez, that's unbelievable.
So you're mentally scared, but you want to bring it back?
I always thought it was a nice race. Yeah, I like Reveille. Well, it was goodish horses won that over the years. Yeah, like I thought it was a loss to
So we're bringing back the Close brothers. What are we getting rid of?
Well, either one or two races. Originally I didn't mind the cross country, but I think that's a load of rubbish now.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
Get rid of it. Gone.
Yeah.
Now the Tiger Roll was the cross country, and he was the one that got us interested in it really in the last couple of years. But he's retired now. It's a get out clause, isn't it?
I don't like it.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you're not really good enough to run in the top races, we'll go back to the cross country.
Yeah,
I don't like it. It takes ages to run as well.
It does. It's lost its appeal to me. I wouldn't even look at it now. You know what I mean? And when we were there originally working over there, the English people, they never even bothered with that cross country. And I was saying, this is a great race. Why did I not watch it? But after about 6 or 7 years, I could see exactly their point of view. It's a load of rubbish, is what it is, right? Yeah. And the Mayor's Chase, even though it's only been in, I'd say, 2 years. Now, Colin Reevy was a fair mare to have won it, but like Ellie May and Scarlet and Dove and Mount Ida, like you can go down to Clonmel and watch those horses. You don't need to go to Cheltenham to watch them, surely. And it'll be the same stuff in it again next year. Ellie May and Scarlet and Dove and Pink Legend and all these old things running in it. You know what I mean? they're just like average horses, aren't they? Like I think they lower the tone of the place.
Sam
to be honest.
Bella and the likes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So we're getting rid of the cross country. We're getting rid of the Mayor's Chase, and we're bringing back in the novice. And then we're happy.
Well, I don't really saying those things, but that's what I would do if I was in charge of it anyway.
There you go, Cheltenham folk. If you're watching, that's what to do with the Cheltenham Festival. Yes, folks, now it's time for Performance of the Week, where Johnny Dineen counts down his top 3 performances of the week, and he's got loads to choose from this week because there was top class racing everywhere you looked. So, Johnny, number 3 this week is? Number 3 is a bit of humble pie. I'm going with Edward Stone. Ah, Lord, holy God, number 3. Yeah, well, as you said,
was he not number 1? There was a lot to pick from. So, like, there was a whole host of races that you could have picked.
So, you weren't an Edward Stone fan. He proved you wrong, but you don't mind that. You're accepted to take that on the chin.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part and parcel of the game. But look, it won well. You have to admit it won well. It's a big runner now in the championship. Like anyone that's on it, you put it up. Did you say 16 to 1, whatever each way?
I did, and you laughed at me.
Yeah, I did actually.
Ridicule me.
Yeah, I didn't ridicule you. I don't ridicule anyone that puts up horses because I make enough of blunders myself. But look, realistically, if you're on at fancy, nice double-figure prices, Edward Stone, you only have 2 to worry about now: Energy Mean and possibly Fernie Hollow. Like you couldn't really see anything else taking it out, could you? No. Like he definitely has improved. He's improved. Like he even there's a big turnaround with his form with that Gentleman the Me horse, even from entry. Like there's a furlong of a difference between them last week, and it did everything right. Won easy now, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like with Edward Stone, the second season novices in the 2 mile division was something Henry de Brom had told me a while ago with Size in Europe. Even he won the Arkle and went on to win the Queen Mother. Like put the kettle on, won an Arkle and went on to win a Queen Mother. So there's just something in those 2 milers when they're on the up.
Yeah,
they just do keep. They mightn't have, like, obviously at his best, Shishkin would have far more natural ability than Edward Stone. But just when you get them horses on and up, that's why I didn't really want to rule out Edward Stone because I knew there could be a little bit more to come from that. And the Arkle winners have a terrific record in the Tingle Creek as well, so that's why I was giving him a little bit of a chance.
Yeah.
His jumping is good.
Yeah.
He lands running.
Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of the hold-up performers, but you can kind of put him anywhere in a race. I don't think he'll beat Energy Mean, but he'll run well in the championship.
But saying that, like, he may not beat Energy Mean, and maybe he will. I don't know. Maybe I don't think he will myself, but you never know. Energy Mean is yet to run, and who knows what kind of like horses don't have go overnight, do they? Like in this day and age, do you know what I mean? So you never know. This fella's on the way up. Like we don't know how good Energy Mean is going to be this year. And last year's form he'd probably beat him, but like this horse is improving, yeah, without a doubt. And he was fair impressive. I still don't like his tactics though. I don't like his tactics.
Johnny doesn't like the hold-up performers. No. For anybody that hasn't watched the show already, you hate horses held up.
I do. I hate it. And even the way he was ridden the last day.
Brilliant ride, Johnny.
But I hate horses being last to 6 and them for no reason.
But do you not think horses get confidence from passing horses?
I do, but I also think that horses are forced into making mistakes by being behind other horses that are jumping well in front of them at the same time.
But every horse is different, Johnny. You can't say that every horse needs to be ridden up.
Oh no, I don't. I don't agree. But what I'm just saying is Alan King, like that's the way they run their horses. Even in the minor races, everything's held on.
Absolutely,
everything's held on. There's no such thing as making the running when an opportunity presents itself. Yeah. It's it's automatic. Hang on to drop in everything. Everything's dropped in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas I think you have to mix it up. I don't say you have to make the running in every single race.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? But no, he was never that far out of his ground
No.
in the race, which is a help at the same time. You know what I mean? He's never more than 4 or 5 lengths behind, and he did make his move early enough,
He did.
which he did last year in Cheltenham too.
Yeah.
To be fair, he was in front, like turning in more or less, wasn't he? He jumped second last. He was definitely in front, jumping second last. But look, he's a runner, big runner. Like he's 3 to 1, 7 to 2. Look, I couldn't say he couldn't win. Definitely, you have to revise my opinion. Personally, when it comes to it, I have a feeling he won't win. But I'm nowhere near as dogmatic as I was.
Okay, so Energy Mean does have a chance in the championship.
Oh, he
He's
does.
number 3. Who's number 2?
Number 2 was Mighty Potter.
Oh, he was brilliant.
He was impressive. Yeah, he did everything right. Got a great ride too. Like now, it's saying that Banbridge probably didn't go on the ground, I'd say, and Three Stripe Live all but failed, didn't it? In the race kind of half fell asunder a small bit, but he kind of and he got half the run of the race, but he did win well, and like he's definitely set the benchmark for 2.5 mile novices anyway. He's the horse they have to go and get now anyway.
Now, maybe Gallop in the Shams is a freak and will win 3 Gold Cups. But if you're offering me a free bet for the 2024 Gold Cup, it would be Mighty Potter.
Yeah,
I think he's the type of horse that will keep on improving.
Or possibly because he's like he hasn't that much running done, didn't point to point or anything like that. You know what I mean? So he's going to improve away. Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting. Spoke to Jack Kennedy after the race, and you would have read in the Racing Post in Gordon Elliott's comments. He said Jack Kennedy had a smile on his face after schooling him at Navan on Monday. Spoke to Jack after the race. Jack said, in all his time riding at Navan, where he did the schooling session last Monday, he said he has never seen a horse jump the 5 fence in the back straight the way Mighty Potter did. Handicappers, experienced handicappers know, he said he sat in behind and he kept jumping to the front, reining them back, jumping to the front, reining them back. So he's obviously got a serious engine.
Oh, he has, and like he's a Grade 1 winner over hurdles. And no, I suppose
Dual Grade 1 winner over hurdles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but you'd have to, I suppose, have in the back of your mind the stinking run in Cheltenham.
Shocker,
maybe that might just have been an off day. Could he maybe got upset or whatever? I don't know. Did he get a kick at the start that day as well? Didn't he?
Don't know.
I thought he might have had. I'm sure they were looking at him at one stage, like as regards maybe not even running him. You know the way the vet heads a look at him. I think.
Okay.
From him, no, I wouldn't bet on that. No, but I think.
So it's very interesting, Johnny. Your number 3, Edward Stone, number 2, Mighty Potter, would possibly be my 1 and 2. So I'm very intrigued to know your number 1, Johnny Dineen's performance of the weekend is
Lossiemouth.
Lossiemouth.
Yeah, I thought Lossiemouth was very impressive. Like it definitely put the stamp on the Triumph hurdle anyway. It's the one they have to go and get now anyway after that performance. Like came from France, big reputation. Like at one stage on Sunday I was looking at the betting, it was heading to be the same price to win that race as it was to win the Triumph hurdle.
I know, yeah.
It was 5 to 1 at one stage.
Yeah.
Now it finished up like 7 to 2 or 4 to 1 on the exchanges. Fair was well back to Zarek the Brave. They would finish 1-2. It was a tidy race now at the same time. You know,
Comfort Zone was 3rd.
Saying that it's 3 to 1 for the Triumph, while I think it's very likely a winner. Like at this stage last year, we hadn't seen Vauban, Pied Piper. You know what I mean? I'd still wait maybe till the 1st of January, say, and have a look then, and maybe take 2 to 1 rather than.
Yeah, she does look like a juvenile hurdler.
Oh,
she's not very big.
She was very impressive. Like, and he rode her. Like he was always in control. I always felt looking at the race that it was going to win, and it won 4 lengths. Like after only kind of jumping into the lead at the last. It's definitely the horse they have to beat in the Triumph hurdle, reckon. But you never know. And like McManus, they seem to have plenty of flat horses coming out of Aidan O'Brien's this year. Like you know what I mean.
Comfort Zone ran well.
It ran fine, yeah. It ran fine, and they have Cougar to run, and plus you never know with Henderson pop up with one. But 3 to 1 is probably about fair. But I mean, I wouldn't be rushing to take it just yet. But if by maybe in a month's time, when you're looking around and saying I can't see anything now, then I'd be taking maybe 2 to 1 or 9 to 4.
Okay, so there you go. Lossiemouth was Johnny Dineen's performance of the week. So you've heard what Johnny's performance of the week is. Now let's find out his Eyecatcher of the week. The one horse that caught Johnny Dineen's eye over the last 7 days is?
Well, the horse that, first of all, he caught my pocket anyway because he was beat. And he wasn't really an Eyecatcher either. But if you're looking for something that will win the next day, I would have said Hunter's Yarn. Probably, in all probabilities, needed a run in Punchestown.
He was beating the Punchestown last Tuesday at odds on.
Yeah, at 6 to 4 on, or 5 to 4 on, something like that. But anyway, he looks like a horse like this, probably a stuffy one because he missed in his bumper first time out, then went and won. Last year he missed over hurdles, came back and won. Like he's won 3 bumpers, so he's obviously a fair engine. it was a fair race at the same time. Like the big Diane, they're goodish horses. You know, I could see him running in Leopardstown at Christmas and probably winning now, to be honest. He should surely win the next day. I thought he would anyway. Like, again, you're not going to be talking about big odds like with Willie Mullins. Yeah.
But we want winners, Johnny.
Yeah, well, that's it. Look, I'd imagine he's slightly better than he showed, and he looked like a horse that he did a bit of running with his head down and all that kind of stuff as well. He probably blew up a bit. I'd fancy him the next day, to be honest.
There you go. One horse that's going to win next time. It's Hunter's Yarn. So what you want to know now is what's happening this week, and we've got another fantastic Saturday at Cheltenham. So we're going to preview 3 races here, and the first of those is the December Gold Cup. It's the second leg of those big handicaps at Cheltenham after the Paddy Power in November. You were there for that. You got stung in that.
That's right, yeah.
You got stung, you did your yawl double.
Yeah.
So the December Gold Cup, anything tickle your fancy?
Look, the horses that are up at the top of the betting for this race were all involved in that December Gold Cup. They were like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Stolen Silver Unseated Rider. Midnight River is the favourite. He was the closest to winning, wasn't he? He was 3rd.
Il Ridotto.
Il Ridotto doesn't really stay, I don't think.
Okay.
To me, that won't win it anyway, because like that travelled like a horse that you'd say would nearly win that race, but it didn't really get home. I don't think that'll win it anyway.
Okay.
Deran the Kajak was in that race. Naslam, they were all in that race. There's probably only maybe a jump between a lot of these horses. Look, Midnight River has a chance. I didn't really have any strong opinion in the race. The one I came down on was Fern Hill, a horse belonged to Ben Case. Look, I just saw it was around 16 or 20 to 1. It's saying that it's coming from different level of opponents into a better race that it's been competing in. But it is improving. It's a youngish horse, good jumper. I could see that figure now. I thought it had an each way chance at about it's 16, 20 to 1.
Okay, I like one in each way price as well. If it turns up here, Coconut Splash doesn't win very often, but I think he's been crying out for a big field handicap, loads of cover, where they go fast and he gets into a rhythm. I liked his run at Wetherby. I thought it was really eye-catching at Wetherby behind Into Overdrive. His Frank the Form since against Long Press ran well against him. I think off a mark 132. I do think he's well handicapped. Evan Williams won the race last year with Cool Cody. If Coconut Splash turns up, that 16 to 1 he is now, I think he could go off a single figure price. I just think he's got a big chance in a handicap. So Coconut Splash for me in the December Gold Cup, and it's Fern Hill for Johnny Dineen. Now moving on to the International Hurdle. Always an interesting race this year, Johnny. And this year we might have Epatante. We don't know. Obviously it'd be a quick turnaround from the Fighting Fib. But I like to move it against Nappers Hill. I have a strong fancy. Have you?
I have one of my strongest fancies of the whole week.
Oh, we're taking each other on.
Well, we might
right, I hope it's the same horse, okay? On the count of 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Nappers Hill.
I'm going with it.
Go on. I like to move it.
I do. I like to move it. I think he's a good, honest, tough horse. And if it comes to a struggle, I think he'll get the better of Nappers Hill. To me, Nappers Hill kind of half stole that race. Cobden stole the race off of Jacob in Wincanton.
Yeah.
Maybe not stole it completely, but definitely outrode him a bit anyway. You know what I mean? That kind of way. And that other one gave it first run, and Nappers Hill is
good yardstick though. Score Royal, like. Do you know what I mean? He's been there. He's done it. Maybe he's not as good as he was.
But I like the move. It has a verdict over Nappers Hill already.
He does.
He does. In that Bedford hurdle, if he's only just touched off.
But Nappers Hill hasn't stopped winning since.
No, but he's running in like handicap hurdles into that race in Wincanton. I like to move it. Like he carried top weight in the Grade 1 hurdle. That is not an easy thing to do. Like that has the marks of a Grade 1 horse. There's no way Nappers Hill is a Grade 1 horse. No way in the world. I think he manages certainly to beat him. Absolute certainty. But like I'd be more. Is Epatante is not going to run here?
Well, I don't know. Hopefully not, because you fancy the other two.
Yeah. Well, like if it comes down to a two-hand reel anyway, right. I'll be all in.
I think you're very, very harsh on Nappers Hill. I think he looks like a reformed character this year. I think he's progressing. I know you can say he got a freebie on the front at Wincanton, but I like the way he finished out his race. I loved his first run back. Excuse me. I loved his first run back where, again, he finished out his race. Like, before I was wondering, was he a weak finisher? I don't think he's a weak finisher.
I'd say the ground is very important to Nappers Hill. I'd say good ground. And you're talking like maybe frost and covers and everything and maybe tacky stuff. If that ever comes into play, there's absolutely no betting in the race in my eyes. Like, if it's anyway testing or anything like that, and they probably will both run. Like, I would say I like to move. I like to move it out battling.
Yeah.
Hill.
He's a lovely horse. I like to move it. And I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I tipped him on the show.
Like I wouldn't give Nappers Hill an inertly of carrying top weight in the Grade 1 hurdle and winning it.
Okay.
So I might be wrong, but sure, listen, I'll be wrong before. I'll be wrong again too.
I put that in my pipe and smoke it.
Actually, listen, stop.
There you go. So Nappers Hill cannot win the international hurdle. Well, I think he will. I think he will.
I think he'll be second, but he won't win.
He won't win. Okay. And the final race we're going to preview is the Albert Bartlett Novice Hurdle, and I think this can go to Paul Nichols and Harry Cobden again with Outlaw Peter. Do you?
No, I'm going the other way there. I'm going with
Jeez, Johnny, one of us is going to have a good weekend.
Well,
anyway.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Look, I go with We've All Been Caught. He's 3 mile. He's gasping for 3 miles. Outlaw Peter, to me, is a fairish horse. That's what he is. I wouldn't say he's any better than that. Now he has an experience edge. He's more runs over hurdles, and but again, if it comes to a dogfight, absolutely no betting. Only one winner here, and that'll be the Twisted Davis.
How do you know? You've only seen him a couple of times.
Because I know by him that he's like this. He's going to be a 3 3.25 mile horse. We've all been.
Right.
I have a feeling Outlaw Peter is a touch on the soft side myself now. You know, like he came to win that race in that Persian War, and that was a dire contest, absolutely dire race. The winner is. It has to got off of the Brahman. Wasn't it?
Accidental Rebel, yeah.
A Quid Pro Quo was 4th in it.
Yeah.
Present and Counting was 3rd in it.
Yeah.
There was a yoke. Hector Javelex ran in a handicap hurdle at the last meeting. Finished 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
Quid Pro Quo finished last at 7 behind Hermie Allen.
I'm hearing you, yeah.
I would have thought that, We've All Been Caught. First run was a respectable effort, music drive.
And of course, he did nearly come down at the first.
He did. He ran very green early on. He didn't know where he was, and he did finish the race well. And he'll be suited by going up and trip. And again, if it comes to a dogfight, put it this way, if they're level turning in off the bridle, he'll beat him by 15 lengths. That's the way I look at it anyway. So that's my reason.
Just to be clear about it. Okay, so We've All Been Caught for Johnny Dineen. I think Outlaw Peter has more experience, and for a race like this, I just think it might come a little bit too early in We've All Been Caught's education. So there you go. We're taking each other again in the Albert Bartlett Novice Hurdle. And of course on Sunday, Johnny, we have the big one at Punchestown. It's the John Durkin Chase, the return of Galloping the Shams. Straightforward?
Well, sure, you'd have thought so anyway. You know, sure, Mullins is the key to the race. He has 4 or 5 horses in this race. Yeah. What else is he going to run? Is there any opposition to him, basically?
No, it could be a small field, yeah.
Blue Lord, will that run in it?
Could, yeah.
I suppose Facker the Derry might turn up here, wouldn't he? But Galloping the Shams, if he I wouldn't back him now at the same time. It's still his first run out of novice company. I wouldn't back him. He's going to be probably 2 to 1 on his ear, so roughly. Look, he should win. He should win. As I said, I'm not going to bet 2 on him at the same time. But look, he's a good horse, obviously, very good horse.
Any day we get to see Galloping the Shams, given his running style, is a great day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he's a fabulous horse to watch,
he is. Like, he really takes the bull by the horns, doesn't he? And off he goes. And it's a very hard horse to lie into. And they will have difficulty lying into him. And I remember saying to Davy Russell last year at a preview down Norway that I was always I said, just say, why does nobody go near Allaho? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Why did they not pressurise them early in the race? They'll even go 10 lengths ahead and the races are over. Yeah. And he said there are horses that you just can't go near. Yeah. You just can't get near them early on in the races, because if you do, you'll finish. You won't even finish. You know what I mean? So
interesting.
And that's and Galloping the Champ has a touch of that about him.
He certainly does. Yeah. So Galloping the Champ runs on Sunday. So me and Johnny are dead against each other on Saturday with a couple of races at Cheltenham. Johnny, I hope you have a terrible Saturday.
Well, if I do, it'll be about the 4th one in a row.
That's what's happening this week. So now it's time for DJ versus Johnny, our weekly charity bet challenge. And Johnny got a little bit in the kitty last week. He did a double. Now the filly that you went for in the list of bumper actually ran in a different race and was beaten. Yeah. But we're giving you a non-runner.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So it was just a single that went on authorised speed at 1 to 2. Yeah. So you have your single back. Okay. So you narrowed the gap somewhat, Johnny.
Right. Okay.
So you got 75 quid back. So you're up to 125. So it's 450 quid to me, 125 to you. So you're narrowing the gap. But I'm gonna extend the gap this week, because my charity bet is in the 225 at Cheltenham on Saturday, and it is Nappers Hill. Nappers Hill in the international hurdle, 225 at Cheltenham on Saturday. I think he's improving rapidly. Johnny thinks he got a very easy lead at Wincanton. I agree, but I thought he beat Sco Royal fair and square, and I think Sco Royal is a fair yardstick. I think when you're beating him around Wincanton, you're doing something right. And to me, I think he can turn around the form with I Like to Move It from last season. He's a winning machine, and I think that winning streak can continue. So 50 quid on Nappers Hill at 5 to 2 for me in the international hurdle is my charity bet. Johnny?
Well, my one is the exact opposite. I'm going to go with I Like to Move It. in a double, which we've all been caught. They're
You
two
really
races.
like them too, don't you?
I do. I fancy both them horses. That's a Nigel Twiston Davies double, and I'd say it's 2:25 and 3 o'clock.
So 2:25 and 3 o'clock, yeah. So we're talking 7 to 4. I like to move it.
That's fine. Yeah.
And we've all been caught is
I don't know what price. Would it be 6 to 4 shot?
6 to 4. So we're talking through. Will we give you? We'll see. Can we get 7 to 1 for the double?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
We'll ask Bet365. Can we get 7 to 1 for the double? We've all been caught, and I like to move it. And Nigel Twiston Davis double for Johnny in this week's charity bet. But mine is Nappers Hill. The best of luck to you. May the best man win.
Exactly. Yeah.
So each week here on Upping The Ante, we preview a race at the 2023 Cheltenham Festival. This week is the turn of the Mare's Hurdle. After there was a bit of a shake-up this week because there's talk of Honeysuckle now going this way. So at the moment, Honeysuckle is a 92 shot with Bet365. Epitante is the 4 to 1 favourite. It's 6 to 1 Love Envoy and Brandy Love. It is 7 to 1 Marie's Rock, and it is 8 to 1 Bar. So price up for me the chances of Honeysuckle running in this race. If you're a bookie, I'm asking you a price. I don't care whether she wins or loses. What price is Honeysuckle to run in the Mare's Hurdle right now?
Well, if I was pricing it, I'd be giving no price as a
non-runner.
As a non-runner. And
what price to turn up?
About 4 to 1.
Okay, I'll have a tenner.
You have it, yeah.
Okay.
You have it, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I couldn't see it happening. I just think it's a backward step. I don't see it.
But she could go out gloriously,
But
winning at Cheltenham and retired on the spot, winning a Cheltenham race. I know, I agree with you. She shouldn't do it, but I'm just saying it could happen.
It could happen. Look, she could run in the Gold Cup for all I know. For all I know. But I'm just saying that I don't see it. I just see when a mare wins the 2 champion hurdles, going back for a lesser race. I don't think that's never been done before, has it?
No, never been done before. But I'm getting 4 to 1, so it's great.
Yeah. Look, I'd be surprised. Look, I don't know. I don't see it. I'd rather if she was my horse, I'd rather her finish second or third in the champion hurdle than win the Mare's Hurdle. You know that.
Yeah,
let her get beat by Constitution Hill or whoever. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to clarify, I think she should run in the champion hurdle.
Yeah.
But I just think there's more than a 4 to 1 chance of her running in the Mare's Hurdle. I think it's about a 2 to 1 chance.
Do you think so? I think it's 0 chance myself. But like,
well, you only gave me 4 to 1.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, so where are we with Epitante?
Well, Epitante is like Honeysuckle, rising 9 years of age. A dangerous runner in this race, obviously, like because it is a classy mare, but has a lot done, hasn't it? Like Epitante, you know what I mean? And
she's had a lot of races.
A lot of racing now, and like was there probably as a 5-year-old in the mare's novice, and then been in a few champion.
4 Cheltenham Festivals in a row.
Is she? Yeah, and like she didn't really finish out her race great against. She was quite close to Not So Sleepy at the finish in the fight in 5th. So look, I do think that she's probably slightly better at less than 2.5 miles as well. I'd imagine 2 mile 2 or 3 probably are optimum.
Okay, Love Envoy returned with a win at Sandown on Saturday.
He did, yeah, won well, got a great ride now. He's another guy riding tremendous. Johnny Burke riding tremendous, yeah, absolutely. Stole that race as well. Like that will be a better mare at 2.5 miles rather than the 2 mile that won over in the novice race. Definite runner, game yoke as well. Good chance that horse.
Now we're getting to my idea of the winner of the race. I think ability-wise, I think she's got the most ability in the race. Brandy Love.
Yeah, another big runner. Like this is quite an open race, Mare's Hurdle. To me, it wouldn't appeal at all as a bet medium. I don't think right now it wouldn't anyway. And mares are hard to keep right, and they're tricky to train and all that kind of stuff. So, but Brandy Love missed last year's festival and then came along and won in Fairy House. Like probably going the wrong way around, but still won 12 lengths against Love Envoy, who surely might have been feeling the effects of had a good few runs too. Love Envoy had a few encounters with Lingfield as well. You know what I mean? Before it ran in Cheltenham, so you'd imagine that surely wasn't at her peak in that race. But Brandy Love won well, and like who's to say it wouldn't have won in Cheltenham? It's a huge runner, all right. Yeah.
Okay, what about last year's 1-2 Marie's Rock and Queensbrook?
Like Marie's Rock surprised me last year, surprised me even more in Punchestown that it was able to come there because I give it absolutely 0 in that race. That was a fluke. I thought it was a fluke in Cheltenham. Obviously it wasn't. Queensbrook is going to be trained for the race again. She'll
run well. I think I'd see her being placed.
Yeah, maybe so. But as a likely winner, I wouldn't have thought so. But no, we wouldn't fall down if it won. But look, she's some sort of a chance. But to me, this doesn't really appeal as a betting race. Right now, it doesn't anyway.
Okay, even if I was giving you a free 5 or no?
No, I think I'd rather keep it in my pocket, to be honest.
Okay.
Even if
keep
it was
it in
free.
your pocket. Get an old Americano or something.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. That was our quick look at the Mare's Hurdle. So it's time for the picks. Yes, our latest collection of Ante Post tips for the 2023 Cheltenham Festival. So Johnny, I'm going to go first this week. We previewed the Mayor's Hurdle there. I didn't want to be giving too much away, okay? Because I think there's a good thing in the race.
Okay.
I think there's a good thing in the race. And that good thing, my dear friends, is Brandy Love. Yes, Brandy Love at a standout 6-1 with Bet365 is a terrific price in my opinion, okay? Brandy Love to me is one of these fillies that when she's on her game and when she's right, she's exceptional. And the key thing here is her last 2 runs over hurdles have been a fairy house. Okay, she was beaten by Allegory Devassi when she jumped out to her left in a graded race earlier on last season, right? And then she missed Cheltenham with a setback. Then she went to Fairy House under a masterful Paul Townend ride and absolutely bolted up from Love Envoy, who won the Mayor's Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham, going the wrong way around. So our last 2 runs have been the wrong way around. What on earth is she going to do when she actually goes left-handed? It's a scary thought. If she's on her game and she gets into a rhythm at Cheltenham, going left-handed, she obviously jumps to her left, but that's fine. That's going to be fine. Like, she, to me, ability-wise, has a scary amount of ability. She's on the up. She was a novice last season. Like, a lot of the horses in this race, we're looking at, just say, at the top of the market, Honeysuckle, Epatante. We don't really know that they're going to run here. We really don't. Both of them could run the Champion Hurdle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Whereas with Brandy Love, you know this is going to be her aim if she's right. Obviously, we haven't seen her yet this season. I think she's back in training now, Willie Mullins. You'd imagine he will find a suitable target for her, potentially at Leopardstown at Christmas, going left-handed. I can't wait to see her back left-handed. She won her maiden hurdle at Naas going left-handed. I think she'll be a bit of a beast going left-handed. So for me, 6-1. I want to get winners on my team, Johnny, because we're into week 5 now, and I don't want to be thinking about non-runners and you know, might eyes for the Stayers Hurdle. Nothing like that. I want winners. I'm getting a winner on the team. I'm putting my captain in this week, and my captain is Brandy Love at 6-1 for the Mayor's Hurdle. There you go.
Yeah, look, it's a realistic proposition for sure. Yeah, the one I picked is Grange Clare West.
Okay.
In the
which race? That's the
I'm
big
going to
thing.
go Ballymore because
Grange Clare West for the Ballymore at 11-1 with Bet365. A standout 11-1. That is value, Johnny.
I think so, because he won with an unbelievable swagger first in a pretty, what looked a pretty hottish race. But what I did like about when Mullins said afterwards, he kind of intimated that it would run in the Lauders of Naas.
Yes.
And if it goes there, that's traditionally a really hot race and a big pointer to the race like the Ballymore. Like, if it runs in the Lauders of Naas, it ain't coming back for the Supreme, is it? Like, in my eyes anyway. So if it goes that way, it'll probably be favourite there. If it wins there, you're in business. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know. So like, if it's the best of Mullins in the novice races, you're with one leg inside in the winners' enclosure, don't you?
It looked a fairly competitive maiden hurdle at Navan. I watched the race in the stand that day. I know Kudasheva from the Henry de Bromhead stable, there was a lot of horses in there with big reputations, and what Grange Clare West did from the second last to the line was like, whoa.
Yeah. No, there was a bit of an X factor about it, all right, yeah, or a wow factor, whatever you like to call it. Look, I thought he won really well, but just the fact that he mentioned, like, he did intimate that he was going that way, and as I said, the Lauders of Naas is a really good race, always a great race, and a good pointer to Cheltenham. And as I say, if you can get on the right horse of Mullins's in these novice races, you'll hit a fair share of winners by the time the race comes.
So obviously the worry here is that he could go Albert Bartlett, but he might just have enough class for the Ballymore.
He looks like a horse that's loads of ability, loads of class. The Albert Bartlett's more of a slugger's race, isn't it?
It is.
I fancy they'll go. I would be half more afraid that he'd go back into 2 mile race and they could switch the other lad out or something like that.
Pascal Vega.
Yeah. But I don't see him as being an Albert Bartlett horse, Grange Clare Gold. He looks a horse with a lot of class.
Okay, West.
West is a Grange Clare West.
There was a Grange Clare Gold.
There was,
Grange Clare West. There we go. Johnny Dineen's latest tip for the 2023 Cheltenham Festival is Grange Clare West for the Ballymore Novice Hurdle at 11-1 with Bet365. Best of luck, Johnny.
Right, cheers.
So, folks, that's it for week 5 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. So we know Johnny bought a new jumper, a brand swanky new jumper. So does that mean you bought that while you were doing your Christmas shopping, maybe?
No.
Buying Mrs. Dineen her Christmas present?
I didn't do any Christmas shopping yet. As I said before, my Christmas shopping will be fairly short now. It's in and out. Like, you could be talking under an hour anyway.
Right.
And it could be Christmas Eve too.
Could it?
It could at 4:30. Because we're a real long finger man as well now on top of that. So kick the can down the road. But look, no,
Did you buy the jumper yourself?
I did,
Did you?
yeah, I did. I bought it myself, yeah, and I put it on in the light because some guy accused me of getting dressed in the dark last week. So I made sure that I had all the lights on this morning.
Well, I don't think they can argue with your attire this week. Nice, safe, lovely, great
Absolutely, yeah,
jumper.
it's safe.
So no Christmas shopping done yet. So what's the plan for the week?
Oh, sure, look, I'll be watching. I always like Cheltenham.
I love watching Cheltenham.
Yeah, even though it's not the best meeting there, I always love Cheltenham. And sure, there'll be good racing in Ireland at the weekend too. Punchestown is on. Is it Sunday?
Yeah, Punchestown on Sunday.
But
Yeah,
it's not on Saturday then, no.
Don't think so. No.
Yeah. O'Navin is on Saturday, I think, isn't it? That's that horse running there, Hollow Games, is he running there? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's always good. They're always good meetings, and there'll be good racing in England as well. Other meetings as well. So as I said now, and the World Cup starting and getting into the
Johnny is nearly finished.
Yeah, I'm going to come out of retirement.
Are you?
I am coming out.
Who wins it, Johnny?
I don't know who wins.
What about Italy?
No, I told you, you caught me on that one before. I'm going to have one bet myself. It's just a pure mug bet now, you know what I mean?
Go on.
I'm going to lay France 90 minutes against England at around 6-4. I think England have every chance of beating them.
Wow.
And I always have the draw running for you. You know what I mean? And they're always saying about Mbappe. And
Now, can I ask you a question, right?
What?
Have you watched any of it so far?
Very little.
So how do you know that?
Well, all I know one thing. If France have Giroud playing with him anyway, that he wouldn't get a game with Wexford Youths in my eyes anyway. So he was no good about 5 years ago, and he's still playing with France. So they can't be that good. And like
some people say he's the most underrated footballer of all time.
He's a creature. That's what he is. And I tell you one thing. On top of that, Mbappe, he hasn't come up against anyone proper. Like
now come on, you're not going to knock Mbappe.
Oh, I'm not knocking him. But what I'm saying is,
Kyle Walker.
It's going to be like a Champions League match now. It's going to be like PSG playing at maybe Man City. He's going to have to do well against them kind of defenders.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Surely, like the teams they've played so far are like pub teams, aren't they? Most of them. So I'm going with them. Like even the goalkeeper, Lloris isn't good, isn't he?
Oh, shocking! Yeah.
Like to me, like compare him with some of the other top goalies in England. He, as I said, I know very little about it, but
you're surprising me now.
I'm going to have a stab at like I'll bet 6-4 on and have the draw running for me. Okay. I could see England knocking them out even, you know.
There you go. The big call from Johnny Dineen. It's England are going to win the World Cup.
No, I didn't say that.
Sorry.
I didn't say that.
No,
but I think they'll beat France. Yeah, that's all.
France, so there you go. Well, best of luck this weekend with your racing. Hopefully it's a more successful weekend for punters this weekend than Fairyhouse last week. 16 races, one winning favourite, and that was only Facile Vega.
Yeah, that wasn't much good to anyone as well.
15 beaten favourites of Fairyhouse last Saturday and Sunday, so hopefully it's more enjoyable for punters this week. Listen, we've been delighted to join you this week for Upping The Ante. It's week 5. We're getting through it, Johnny. We're finding our feet, and we're looking forward to joining you again next Tuesday for a new episode of Upping The Ante. I've been David Jennings. He's been Johnny Dineen. Thanks for watching.